I will just say, I hope people are ready for like Ghislaine Maxwell to be freed, though. Like,
Well,
you know, either go.
No.
Well,
This is I want to go to that angle. Okay, go ahead.
Well, because that's the next step. That's the next step to this whole thing. Like Ghislaine Maxwell walked. I mean, I can't say walk free. She'll either be freed from this mortal coil or she'll be freed from prison. But the idea that she's going to be like still behind bars, like physically speaking, is unlikely to me. It seems like, you know, this is just going to be one of the only promises kept that Donald Trump actually follows through on. I feel like she's going to be walking out in the next few, like, if not weeks, months, for sure.
When I first heard that they were reaching out to her, my first thought was, oh my God, we're going to have another episode where, Ghislaine Maxwell, dead at whatever age she is, found, she committed suicide in her cell. I mean,
if she plays ball, she'll be out. She'll be sentence commuted.
We'll play this clip in a second. I just want to put this Jacob Shamsian thread up, which is about this angle of Maxwell. It says, I want answers, but the way it's being handled, only see it blowing up and sowing more mistrust. Basically, there's too much focus on Ghislaine Maxwell. And he says, the most obvious and easiest things DOJ could do to give us answers about Jeffrey Epstein would be to simply release the files that an army of FBI agents do the redactions. Give us Jeffrey Epstein's financial transactions, which is what Wyden's on. Give us his texts and emails. These are the things that will tell us about his life and what he did, how did he do it, and who else was involved. And Rokana wants to subpoena Jeffrey Epstein's estate. Great idea. That's another good one.
Yep.
Whereas this, I think the focus is on Ghislaine because they're trying to shake her down for a deal.
Right.
And that's, and they also know like the things that they're saying, we do want to release the grand jury testimony. Well, what about the financial record? What about all the stuff that Shamsian's talking about there?
Well, that's the stuff that's the most important, right? I mean, let's do 5 and 6 actually. All of this, great to see some of the reporting that like people are digging and finding, say, that archival footage of Trump and Epstein being all kissy and lovey at the fashion show, the Victoria's Secret thing. It's okay, we're establishing that they had a significant relationship, more of that, right? But we already know Trump's a rapist, and a horrible, horrible man. This is much more than just like about his character. We want to know what are in the files and what the extent of a potential blackmail operation was, and what ties does it have to intelligence? Could there have been money laundering involved and all that kind of thing? So like, the Ghislaine Maxwell meeting that's happening today between the very Department of Justice that is helping Trump cover up his inclusion in these files, the fact that they're speaking with her, I mean, like, this is just going to be more obfuscation. And
back the story straight.
And Tim Burchett, who is, he was the guy that was like basically on the verge of tears when Trump gave him that signed merch that got him to switch his vote on like the big, beautiful bill. He's like, I don't know if we're talking about like him or Tommy Tuberville or whatever. He's in the running for like one of the dumbest elected officials in the country. And he's so dumb that he just outright says what he thinks the Department of Justice is going to do here with Ghislaine Maxwell.
The government has said in its filings that they don't trust her. She's a liar.
No, she is a liar, and she's a dirtbag.
So then why subpoena her if you can't trust her?
Well, because the one thing we got holding over her head is if we find out she lies, she goes back to her original sentence, and that's looking at lifetime. And if she's looking at maybe parlaying this into reducing her sentence, then we could have some leverage there.
The government is
what?
Yeah.
So
they're letting her out. They're letting her out.
They're letting her out. If she lies, aka tells the truth about Trump, she could go back and get her sentence worsened. If she tells the truth, I don't know.
Mm-hmm, the truth. And the funny thing about the truth is that, it can be whatever you want it can be.
And it sets you free, literally, in this sense.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's happening right. It's happening right in front of our faces, and like it's so naked. But I mean,
she's a liar, but we use lies. Actually, we're in the lie business.
Right. Mm-hmm. And this is a new angle to it that I'm finding fun is now, if in anticipation of her potentially being released or like to soften the ground here, perhaps it's time to humanize Ghislaine Maxwell, who I just want people to know, was like cruising around New York City. This was after he got the sweetheart deal in Florida, in cars and picking up girls in their school uniforms to bring him back. She was doing this in Florida too, driving around schools, recruiting women. Sorry, not women, girls, recruiting girls and women who were sex trafficked too, young women, but girls. This is the guy that apparently Greg Kelly on Newsmax has decided to defend here.
Let's find out, what is this all about? And she's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right. Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. No. And I know that's apparently not good.
Hung out.
But she's in jail.
Hung out.
They
hung out together. She's gonna be free in 6 months, and she's gonna have a show either on Newsmax with Chris Cuomo, or she's gonna be a rotating guest on the 5 whenever like the liberal is out. Who the one who like sits on like the edge, who sits like across from like Greg Gutfeld, and they're just gonna pretend like it's normal. They're gonna pretend like it's normal. Pedocon theory fully realized.
Join us at 4 p.m. for News Maxwell with Ghislaine.
I mean, it would be in her lineage, given her father, you know, his role in the British press, and once rival of Rupert Murdoch himself too. She'd be going back to her roots.
I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up as like the attorney general. They fire Pam Bondi for they're gonna fire Pam Bondi for mishandling the Epstein files and like point Ghislaine Maxwell to be the new attorney general. Like, and then in a year and so, like the Trump administration will, I don't know, change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America to the Gulf of Epstein, and and MAGA will be back in line. They'll be back in line eventually.
Yeah, I do. I like most that. I like your vision, Brandon, of her being the attorney general, because like then Trump could finally have someone fully controllable. Like Eric Adams, it feels like he got bored of that, you know, hanging his pending imprisonment potentially or prosecution over his head. But if he had literally Ghislaine Maxwell as the top law enforcement agency or top lawyer, basically prosecutor in the country, that's someone fully controllable. That's perfect.
Maybe the new head of Republican Youth Outreach.
The degree to which Trump is even in control is debatable. Like Trump is a cutout for the GOP, which is a cutout for the military-industrial complex. Like Trump is like a figurehead, even more so in like this administration than the first one. Like, isn't it Stephen Miller? Like, it'll just be Stephen Miller and Ghislaine Maxwell running like two parts of the government.
Yeah.
She didn't hang out. As Marlon Ettinger points out about Maxwell, this is from the trial. As Maxwell and Epstein intended, these grooming behaviors left minor victims vulnerable and susceptible to sexual abuse by Epstein. Maxwell was then present for certain sexual encounters between minor victims and Epstein, such as interactions where a minor victim was undressed, and ultimately was present for sex acts perpetrated by Epstein on minor victims. That abuse includes sexualized massages during which the minor victim was fully or partially nude, as well as group sexualized massages of Epstein involving a minor where Maxwell was present. In some instances, Maxwell participated in the sexual abuse of minor victims. This is not what I consider hanging out. Ultimately, minor victims were subjected to sexual abuse that included, among other things, the touching of a victim's breasts or genitals, placing a sex toy such as a vibrator on the victim's genitals, directing a victim to touch Epstein while he masturbated, and directing a victim to touch Epstein's genitals. Maxwell and Epstein's victims were groomed or abused at Epstein's residences in New York, Florida, and New Mexico, as well as Maxwell's residence in London, England. A lot of hanging out.
Jesus.
Yep. I mean, she's not just not a victim. She might have like been, through her connections,
partner,
like the reason that this abuse ring got as big as it did. Ghislaine Maxwell comes from incredible wealth and connections. Her father was like deeply connected with Mossad, and had like an Israeli state funeral upon his death, which was also mysterious. He drowned off a boat in the middle of the ocean. Okay, and he
who amongst us, Emma? Who amongst us, please? There's
so many just like horrible coincidences here, and he and she in part like she was Epstein's conduit into high society, basically, and into these wealthy circles. this is a huge reason that all these girls were abused, and she was an active participant in it in a like sociopathic way. So she is not a victim, certainly not. Anyway,
she's a literal predator.
Yes, but it's fun to see them try to have to do these tap dances here.
Well, because you could see them already preparing, right? Because if Ghislaine's a victim, then that means if whatever Trump did, which we can be pretty sure he did something, he might have been a victim too of Jeffrey Epstein, just like Ghislaine. Think about all the things Ghislaine did. Trump was victimized by Jeffrey Epstein too, the 1 or 2 or dozen times that he did whatever he did.
Exactly. It's entrapment. It's entrapment.
Right.
I mean,
that's what they're preparing here, really. Because Epstein's dead. Epstein's dead. There's nothing. You could throw everything at Epstein. He's dead. Who cares?
Right.
Everyone else is the victim.
The stuff with like the Victoria's Secret stuff is really grim, and I think implicates Trump in a wider sex trafficking style operation. I mean, women have testified Epstein posed as a Victoria's Secret scout to abuse them, and Epstein's fortune comes from Victoria's Secret owner Les Wexner.
Yep.
And Trump is there at the Victoria's Secret stuff with those guys. What do you think, they're behaving themselves?
Right.
That's probably the secret reference in the birthday card.
I think people have testified that, like, through the different pageants Trump's done. Like, those women are not safe.
Yeah. Right. Exactly right. Did you want to play this, and then we can wrap up the Epstein stuff?
Oh yeah, this is him responding to
Jonathan Swan.
Yeah.
This was like in 2020.
Mr. President, the other day a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
I don't know that, but I do know that
She's been arrested for that.
her friend or boyfriend
Epstein
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, do you know that?
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out
or committed
how did it
suicide.
happen. Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody. And they took that and
she's
made
a child
such
sex
a big deal. But all it is her boyfriend died. He died in jail. Was he killed? Was it suicide? I do. I wish her well.
Was he killed? Was it dude, you're the president.
You were president when that happened.
Yeah.
Two things. He's deteriorated a lot, and he can make any chair look like a toilet.
He really can. He really can.
Also, Bill Barr was his. What was Bill Barr's? Was he Attorney General or? And also, Bill Barr hired Jeffrey Epstein to work at the Dalton School, a
it was
private
his
school,
father, right?
Or his dad? Was it Bill Barr's dad? Sorry, yeah, Bill Barr's dad. Sorry, yeah, he'd be very old. Bill Barr's father, who was in the OSS, the forerunner to the CIA in World War II, into the intelligence services before the CIA was formed. His dad did that and also hired for schools, apparently. Hired pedophiles for schools.
All right.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.